really difficult process, though, isn't it? Because I speak to different people and they
Yes,
say the hardest thing to do is to become a barrister. So, question then, is it easier
yeah.
to become a solicitor over a barrister?
I think in true lawyer fashion, let me put that in context. There are a lot more solicitors than there are barristers. So in
Why
turn,
is
when you because um, the nature of what we do. So a solicitor is as many people will know, but a solicitor is the person who, more often than not, the minute you have an issue that affects the law, they're the person that you're going to call up. They're the person who's going to walk through your case with you. They prepare all your paperwork. They do all of that letter writing, and you meet with them. You go to their office. That's all the solicitor. It's not until you get to court that I get tagged and then I jump into the case to represent what's happening in court. Now, there's some distinction in that because now we have something called solicitor advocates, and they do a bit of the court work. And there are some barristers who do a little bit of the solicitor work. But by and large, those are the two professions. So because the majority of your case is run by solicitors, there are far more solicitors than there are barristers. So I think it's something like, let's say of the entire legal profession, 85% are solicitors and 15% are barristers.
Okay, so essentially you can, after spending all that time studying, obviously depending if you choose to do what was once called a BBC or an LPC,
Yes,
um, but then obviously if I'm now trying to plot out my life, I'm more likely to get a job if I'm a solicitor because one, there would be more roles available. Is that accurate?
absolutely. Absolutely,
Okay.
Leck, and that's 100% it. And then the intensity and the ferocity of the competition for pupilages is much higher because there's fewer around. And when I was doing it, the ratio was about 1 to 500. So for every one place, there was about 500 or so um about 500 or so applications.
And also,
um
when just thinking out now, actually, barrister
mhm.
roles, is that available across the country or is it just a London thing?
Oh, across the country,
Oh,
across the
okay.
country. But you have different, just like you have different size solicitor firms, you have barristers chambers that are just one person, just
Right.
doing their own thing. Then you've got barrister chambers that are like my size. Well, no, you've got in between that, some that are about 10 to 15 people. Then you've got the slightly larger ones, like my one, where you've got maybe 70, 80 barristers operating from there. And then you've got the really mega ones. But it depends on the size of the chambers and the type of work they do as to how many places they offer. So when I was training, for example, they had 3 places at the chambers where I now practice. They had 3 pupillage positions. Last year, when my chambers were recruiting, we only advertised for 1 place.
How many
So
applicants did you get?
more than one, like more than one.
Now, how many
Uh,
applicants did you get for the one role?
I don't know the figures, but on average, I would have said probably about between 400 and 600, easy.